we're gonna nail down the source that said they're rivers from Fig.
There's a better one.
Violence against others, violence against self, violence against
This
God.
one's what I like. River.
Murder, plunder. Please open to Canto 18. Everybody good?
Yeah.
There is in hell a place called Rotten Pockets. Rock, all rock. Its color rusted iron, as in the wall that circles all around. Dead in the center of that poisoned plain, a well yawns open, empty, broad, and deep. Of that, when it's convenient, I'll have my say. For now, between the well mouth and the clench of cliff, a circling belt goes round, its floor divided into 10 deep trenches. Compare. To guard the outer walls of castles, moats in concentric multiples are dug and form the figure of a wheel around them. That was the pattern that these trenches made, and where from fortresses pontoons run out to link each threshold to the other shore. So, at the bottom of the precipice, cliff, radials ride over every bank and ditch till at the pit they're stopped and then sucked in. This was the place where, shaken from the spine of Geryon, we found ourselves. The poet took the left-hand fork. I followed in his track. Then, to my right, I saw fresh suffering, new whips, new torments, and new torturers, and pocket one with these was all aflutter. Down in those depths, stark naked, there were sinners who came on the side of the line, face on and faster in our direction on the other. Line 28. The Romans, in the Jubilee, devised a way for pilgrims and pedestrians and all their multitudes to cross the bridge, so that on one side, making for St. Peter's, they faced the castle and took, conversely, the other lane when heading for the hill. This way, that way, over the dismal rock. There were, I saw them, horny demons lashing the rear with their vicious scourges. Ouch! Even at the first stroke, they lifted their trotters, and none of them for certain stayed for second helpings, fewer for thirds. But then, as I was moving on, looks clashed my own and one of theirs. I said straight off, "There's one I've seen before. Once was enough." To get him in my sights, I stopped my stride, and pausing quietly along with me, my guide now let me turn a short way back. The body beaten abased its gaze, as if it thought he really could hide. That didn't work. "You there," I said. "Eyes down, bashful are we?" Assuming that your profile's not a lie, then you are Venedico Cachamakiko. No, try that one again. Cacianemico. Cacianemico. Venedico Caciamenico. I feel like Adam Sandler. You guys, the what was that bit? Opera singer. No, nothing? It's good. Look it up. "So what brings you to this killing pickle?" And he to me, "I grudge you my reply. You and your bright words grind one out of me and make me call the world that was to mine. For tittle tattle got this right. It's me. I fixed it. My sister Giselobella did let the Marquis have his way with her. Don't think, though, I'm the only Bolognese who here in tears. This place is full of us, between the rivers Savina and Reno." Okay. So those, I almost want to go label that map right now.
Yeah. I have the names of all the rivers and where they're at.
Okay.
I can send you this. It's a really nice map and it goes through.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'll email it to you.
We're at
Line 61. "Between the rivers of Savino and Reno, far fewer tongues speak yes as yea than here. And if you want to get this straight, recall what money means to Bolognese hearts. 64. And as he spoke, a devil now struck out. "Push off, you pimp," he said, and swung his lash. "There aren't tots here for you to turn to cash." There aren't people to prostitute tarts turn to cash.
Also, a scourge is a whip.
Is it a witch?
Whip.
Whip. Thank you. Scourge is a whip. I turned to join my escort once again and walked with him a few steps further on, then reached an outcrop jutting from the bank. We made our way quite easily up that. Then, turning right along the splintered ridge, we left that bunch to endless circulation. So now we came to where the vault gapes wide to let those beaten beings pass beneath. "Pause here," said Virgil, "and ensure some glimpse of all these woebegones now marks your eye. They go in all directions, so as yet you've had to chance to look them in the face. We saw from the decrepit bridge the traces of a second crew. These came towards us. These as well were driven by whistling whips. I did not prompt him, but my mentor said, 'Look at that hero there, advancing now. He seems for all his pain to shed no tear. How great an air of majesty he still retains. He is that Jason who, astute and strong, made Calchos grieve to lose its gold-fleeced ram.'" Ooh, I feel like Shakespeare mentions the Jason and the golden-fleeced ram. And that's an allegory, right?
To Jason.
An allegory? Yeah.
It's a Bible thing?
Yeah.
No, it's Greek mythology.
Yeah, it's Greek.
It's Greek.
The golden fleece.
Yeah.
That's not Bible. Okay. Line 88. Journeying on, he passed the Isle of Lemnos, where cold and reckless women had by then delivered death to every living male. Yet he, with hints of and eloquence of phrase, beguiled the young Hypsipyle, a girl who had herself proved guileful to the rest. Alone he left her there, alone with child. That crime incurs for him this penalty, which also stands as vengeance for Medea. Along with him go all who turn such tricks. I'm guessing prostitute. And that's enough to know about this veil, or else of those who are caught within its fangs. Line 100. We'd come already to the point at which the tight path crosses with the second bank and makes a shoulder to another arch, and now we heard from pocket number 2 the groans and griping of another lot, the snuffling of their snouts, their slapping palms. The banks were crusted with a slime and mold that rose up in paragey exhalations and scuffling violated eye and nose. I feel like it's really gross, but I'm not quite picturing it. 109. The bottom of that pit goes down so deep we saw it only when we climbed the ridge and stood to see the rock rise straight above. Reaching that point and looking down, we saw that all of them were plunged in diarrhea.
Oh.
Spelled funny though. Diarrhea. I don't think there's an O in diarrhea, is there?
What page are we on? Hold on. Are we on 159? Yeah, you're on that
Yep.
page.
Line 113.
Oh, there it is.
Diarrhea. When you're sliding
It's
into
the same thing.
when you're sliding into home and you feel a little foam, diarrhea.
Oh,
Diarrhea.
apparently it's British English for diarrhea.
What?
Like they have
That's what it says.
Like they
It's
have
like they spell colors.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. We need to get rid of these.
When you're-
Just slide it in first.
Hey,
Feel some-
we both have the same
Yeah.
language. We just changed
Yeah.
it.
No, their version is
Also
wrong.
another one where you're sitting in a bush and you feel something squish
No more
You're
diarrhea.
watching TV.
Diarrhea's funny. Come on.
8
Yeah,
minutes.
brave Sir Robin.
25 out of 25. Smart squirrels.
Wow.
I need to rewatch them all.
Um,
The movies. I have all of them. I've never
We-
seen it before. I don't know if I have cold, but I have quite a few because my mom's a big fan.
Okay, it gets better here. We saw that all of them were plunged in diarrhea, flowing, it seemed, from human cubicles.
Okay.
And while my eyes were searching deep within, I noticed one whose head was foul with shit. Had he the tonsure? It was hard to tell, but he screamed out to me, "Wake up like that, so hungry-eyed for me and not the other swill." "Because," I said, "if I remember well, I've seen you once before with drier coiffure. You are from Lucca, Alessio Intermine. And that is why I've got my eye on you," he answered, battering his turnip top. "I'm sunk this deep because of flatteries. None were too sickly for my tongue to speak." When that was done, my leader now went on, "Just poke your nose a little further out. Your eyes may then be able to detect a slut down there, filthy, with tangled hair." Boy, this is a juicy Canto, huh?
This is just trying to get you canceled, isn't it? Like, this is recorded.
There's only 2 genders.
I lost my place, of course.
Slut down there, 130.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
"A slut down there, filthy with tangled hair, scratching herself with khaki fingernails, squatting at one time, upright at the next. Yes, she's there, the whore, the one who cooed to her hot, panting swain. Yes, good for you. Angel, a miracle, my thanks indeed. Let that be all that here we need to view."
Canto 18. Trying to get you canceled.
Bless you.
Slut,
Thank you.
shit, diarrhea. Slut, shit, diarrhea. Trying to get time canceled. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that was really something. Okay, I'm feeling Canto 19. You guys good?
Yeah.
I've only been at this for 11 minutes. "You, Canto 19. You, Magic Simon, and your sorry school, things that are God's own, things that truly are the brides of goodness, lusting cruelly after gold and silver, you turn them all to whores. The trumpet now and rightly sounds for you. There you all are, well set in pocket 3. I'm not sure who's talking right now. "Onwards toward the yawning tomb, mounting the ridge, by now we'd reached its summit, the points that plumbs the middle of the ditch. Oh, wisdom in the height, how great the art that you display in heaven, on earth, and even in that evil world. How justly you deal power. I saw how all the livid rock was drilled with holes along its flank, across its floor, all circular and all of equal measure. To me they seemed in radius no more, no less than fonts that, in my own beloved St. John's, allow the priests at Baptists a place to stand. Not long ago, I shattered one of those. Someone was drowning there. I got them out. This, sealed and sworn, is nothing but the truth. Out of the mouth of every single hole there floated up a pair of sinner feet, legs to the ham on show, the rest concealed. The soles of these feet were set alight, and each pair wriggled at the joint so hard they'd easily have ripped a rope or lanyard. Line 28. As flames go flickering around some greasy thing and hover just above its outer rind, so these flames also tiptoe to heel end. Who, sir, I said, is that one there? That one who jerks in pain greater than his confreres, sucked at by flames far more fiercely vermilion. I'll lift you down, he answered me. If you insist, we'll take that bank the easier. He'll talk to you himself about his twists. Whatever pleases you, I said. To me is good, Lord, you remain. I'll not depart. You know from what you will. You read my silent thoughts. So on we went, to the 4th embankment, We turned around, descended on our left, arriving at that pitted, straightened floor. My teacher kindly did not set me down, nor loose me from his hip hold till we had reached that fissure where all tears shanks shuddered. That's when you're looking at Inferno art, there's lots of Dante and Virgil like side by side, hip to hip. And I think that's what he just his hip hold till we had reached the fissure where all tears shanked shuddered. Did not let me down nor loose me from his hip hold. Whatever you might be there, upside down, staked, you unhappy spirit, like a pole, if you, I said, are able, then speak out. So there I stood, like any friar who shrives the hired assassin, head down in the earth, who calls him back to put off stifling death. And he yelled out, "Is that you standing there? Are you there, on your feet still, Boniface? The writings lied to me by quite some years. Are you so sick of owning things already, till now you've hardly been afraid to cheat our lovely women, tearing her to shreds?" Well, I just stood there. You will know just how, simply not getting what I'd heard come out, feeling a fool, uncertain what to say. Then Virgil entered. "Say this and make speed. No, that's not me. I am not who you think." And so I answered, as he'd said I should. Line 64. At which all feet the spirit thrashed about, then, sighing loudly in a tearful voice, "So what is it you want of me?" he said. "If you're so keen to know who I might be and ran all down that slope to find me out, you'd better know I wore the papal cope." Ooh. The Pope.
Oh my god, they're doing popey things again.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to watch that.
Popey things and popey hats and popey mobiles.
I remember
Don't forget their popey hats.
some of it.
Their popey speeches.
Yeah.
I remember the guy died, and then they had to sort all of the Pope affairs. Yeah, we do. Tigan, speaking of Pope, you need to watch Conclave. You need to watch Conclave.
That's good. It's really good.
I also remember watching the movie.
So you're making
No, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, there's a movie on Netflix right now called Conclave, and that's what all the bishops and cardinals get together after a pope dies, and they have a meeting called a conclave, and that's where they vote on the new popey person.
And then there was a woke pope they didn't like. Doesn't that happen?
That's a real. Did you see the thing that I sent to the?
I think it happens in Angels and Demons.
Yeah, it's We Built This City, but it's
I love how we get it.
and there's another one by that person, which is We Built This Conclave.
We're two different people.
All right, line 69. I wore the papal cope. Line 70. A true Orsini, son of Ursa Bear. I showed such greed in favoring her brats that up there well in pocket, I'm in pocket here. Below me, in great stacks beneath my head, packed tight in every cranny of the rock, are all my antecedents in the Simon line. Down there I'll sink in that same way when he arrives, whom I suppose that you might be, and uttered therefore my abrupt inquiry. But I already, feet up on the grill, tossed upside down, have passed more time than Boniface will, stuck here with red-hot toes. For after him, from westwards they'll appear, that lawless shepherd, uglier indeed, who then, for both of us, will form a lid. He shall be known as Jason once again. We read in Maccabees, priest bribes a king. This other will score well with one French prince. I may have been plain mad, I do not know, But now, in measured verse, I sang these words. Tell me, I pray, what riches did our Lord demand as first installment from St. Peter before he placed the keys in his command? He asked, be sure, no more than come behind me. Nor did St. Peter or the rest of them receive from Matthias a gold or silver piece, allotting him the place that Judas lost. Oh boy, there's a lot going on here, guys. Judas, the Jewish priest that gave up, right? That gave up Jesus's and the disciples' locations to Pontius Pilate for arrest, and then Pontius Pilate arrested him. So Judas backstabbed Jesus and the disciples, and then one of the disciples ratted Jesus out, right, to Judas. Am I getting this right?
I don't know.
We're pretty close.
You just reported him to Roman soldiers,
Yeah,
didn't
the
you?
Roman soldiers hired Judas
To get him.
and was like, hey, whoever Jesus is, go kiss him. And then Judas kissed Jesus. This is real, guys. The kiss of betrayal. It's real. It's canon to biblical lore.
Which version of is it in?
It's in
Old, I think.
Old. That is not a version of the Bible. Old? Yeah, we know. I'm saying is I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's not in the King James
Yeah,
version.
it's not in the King
No.
James.
No, find out what version it's in so I can go find it.
Well, look at 96, allotting him the place that Judas lost.
As
Who
in
are they
just a
talking about?
disciple.
Wasn't Judas one of the like most loved disciples?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
most loved disciple.
Yeah.
Also, Judas and Judah are completely different disciples.
Because that was normal back then.
So, you stay put. You merit punishment, but keep your eye on that ill-gotten coin that made you bold with Charles the Angevin. Line 100?
New Testament.
It still doesn't answer what book it's in.
Oh, I thought you just asked what version.
And
That's what I mean. What version?
The version.
What
The
kind
AI
of-
says the New Testament to what version?
Oh, that's so unhelpful.
Shut up, AI.
What kind? What? Where
Amplified
is it?
Bible?
The what?
Amplified Bible?
I'll look it up.
I just read the Bible. I don't know what any of these words mean.
line 100. Canto 19, people. And were I not forbidden as I am by reverence for those keys supreme and holy that you hung on to in the happy life, I now would bring still weightier words to bear. You and your greed bring misery to the world, trampling the good and raising up the wicked. Saint John took heed of shepherds such as you. He saw revealed that she above the waves, whoring it up with rulers of the earth.
Pouring it up.
Slay.
Oh, also, it's the New International Version. That's it.
Also the Chinese Bible.
Oh,
I
so
love that.
The Bible can have men kissing, but all of the fiction can't have men kissing in China. That's crazy.
Sigh.
I don't know. The source I have says question mark next to it, so I don't know.
What the hell? Are you allowed to do that? You'll have to be like, I mean, I think it's this, but I'm not entirely sure. You can go somewhere else.
Source,
Every third
just
word
trust me,
of
bro.
Chinese,
Trust me,
so,
bro.
Whoring it up with rulers of the earth, she who in truth was born with 7 heads, and fed herself in truth from 10 pure horns, as long as she in virtue pleased her man. What is going on? Silver and gold you have made your god.
Ooh,
Ooh.
idol reference.
Idolatry.
Woo!
And what's the odds? You and some idol worshiper, he prays to one, you to a gilded 100.
So we're in Simonists, right? The third rabble rouser. What do they call it?
I think,
I
or
think
in
it's
between the
Simonist.
second and
I think it's Simonists because not only do they mention idols, which is definitely a part of it, but they also were talking about popes, which are very historically known for their Simonism.
Yeah, I think we're between flatterers.
Oh, Simonites. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Soothsayers.
Simon.
early.
Yeah.
It's too damn early. For Dante's.
I always forget what Italian. I always forget what a Simonist is. It's just someone who like, it's the Catholic thing of like paying to get into heaven. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yup.
So I feel like he's talking crap about Simonists.
Yeah.
If God was truly real,
But
God
remember,
would not
this
be gone out.
this
There's no
poetry
other
got
God.
him kicked out of the Catholic Church. So
You're going down to hell.
Was he Catholic?
I mean, it was Italy.
That's true.
yeah, the very first page of his biography is actually really interesting. All right, 115. What harm you mothered Emperor Constantine? Not your conversion, but the dowry he, that first rich papa, thus obtained from you. Quick little history. Constantine converted the Roman Empire to Roman Catholic Church on his deathbed. He said, "Hey, Pope, come and baptize me because I'm going to die." And the Pope went and baptized the Roman Emperor Constantine. And then, therefore, that's why it's the Roman Catholic Church. 118. And all the time I chanted out these notes, he, in his wrath or bitten by remorse, flapped with great force the flat of both his feet. My leader, I believe, was very pleased in listening to these soundings words of truth. He stood there satisfied, his lips compressed. So too, he took me up in his embrace. Then, bodily, he clasped me to his breast and climbed again the path where he'd come down. Nor did he tire of holding me so tight. He bore me to the summit of that arch, spanning the banks of pockets 4 and 5. And there he gently put his burden down, gently on rocks so craggy and so steep they might have seemed to goats too hard to cross. From there another valley was disclosed.